This is a beginner's guide on setting up your first stream in OBS Studio. This is the third time I've had to record this, so let's just get right into it. A lot of people say you should use Slobs instead of, there's a squeaky noise, instead of OBS Studio. In my opinion, you shouldn't, because of one thing, just one thing: CPU usage. Slobs is perfectly fine if you want to learn a couple of settings, but in my opinion, it's way better just jumping into the deep end with OBS Studio and taking the time to go through it and learn it. And this will just be a quick start guide to get you the right settings you need for your stream. CPU usage in Slobs is usually like 4 times higher than in OBS Studio, which is just insane. So you're just literally, for your game's sake, for your CPU's sake, just use OBS Studio. When you first open up OBS, this is what you get. So this is what you're starting with. Okay, so let's set up a little quick stream here and just follow my clicks. Okay, so we have a start scene. All right, I've already renamed the start, and what you're going to do is you're just going to click plus on source, and then you're going to go to video capture device. Now, whatever webcam you're using, say you don't have webcam, that's perfectly fine, but this is if you have webcam, we'll have video capture device, and there I am with my IV cam that I use for my phone. Okay, and here I am. You can see me once more. That's all you have to do for, say, a start scene. Now you want to add a game scene, okay, in-game. So we'll name this in-game, right? Just quick, not even a space, because who needs them? Source. You're going to go to game capture, okay? Game capture, okay. Now we'll capture a specific window. We're going to use Valorant, which we've opened up, okay? Now, perfect. And we can also add, now you can't use the video capture device that you're using here because that's full screen, but you can actually copy it and paste a reference, and then you can shrink this down, okay, like so. That's a reasonable size, and there you go. You have your webcam set up for you when you're in game. Now this is the game, okay? Just to go back out of that so you see it, and there you go. You're set up for your in-game video capture. It's that easy. Okay. Let's say you want to set up your microphone, you know. So what you do here is you go up into settings and you go audio, and you've global audio devices. So desktop audio, which is here, is going to be the headphones Arctis Pro Wireless, which my headphones basically. Mic is the microphone you're using. So I checked the HyperX Quadcast, and that's all. Now let's go back to start, so you can see me, I guess, and you can have scene transitions, right? So what you want to do for the transition, you can actually have a cut, just a straight cut, which goes cut in game, like so. I don't like how they look. You can also add a swipe transition. I don't think they look too bad, actually. And you can also add slide. So we're going to go through each transition just to show you what they look like. It looks exactly the same as swipe, if I'm being honest. You can also add stinger transitions, which are video transitions. We'll use this one, okay? Just for the... And then you can see now, there's a stinger transition. I haven't set it up properly, that's why that came up straight away. But I prefer to use fade. I think it looks clean and sleek. That's just my opinion on transitions. You don't need much. Minimalism goes a long way when it comes to streaming, in my opinion. Instead of over the top graphics and animations and stuff like that. Let's just go through settings. Okay. So in here you have your general, right? You have language, your theme. You can actually change it. So you have dark, the default theme, which also means it's a smaller font for some reason. You've Rachni, which I actually do like the look of. It's interesting. And system, which is bright white and burns your eyeballs. I just use Acri because I think it's very minimalistic and looks nice. Other than that, I use nothing else in here, to be honest. You go to stream, okay, service, there's your services. You have Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live, Restream.io, Twitter, Periscope, show all shows, all sorts of different websites and places where you can stream using OBS. Server is auto, which is recommended, but you can obviously just choose your own if you really want it, I guess. And you can also connect your Twitch account here instead of using a horrible long key, and you just have to authorize it through Twitch, which is much easier. Output. Now, when you're starting out, right, with output, you're going to not use advanced. That's too much for you to look at. That's too much for me to look at. We're going to look at simple, okay? And I know some people are even scared of simple. That's a-okay, that's fine. Video bitrate, number one thing. When you start OBS for the very first time, it's going to be at 6000 kbps. Too high for a stream on Twitch. It's not needed, okay? Start at 4,500 maybe, 1080p, and 60 frames per second. Do it on a test stream account. Don't stream it on your main account. Make a test stream account and do it through there. If that's too much and you're not getting a stable stream, lower the bitrate down to 4,000, so on and so forth, and keep going down in increments of 500 down to 3,000, because I say that's minimum. If you're at 3,000, I'd probably suggest lowering your resolution to 720 instead, because the quality won't be that great. Hardware, use NVENC. This uses too much CPU. Use hardware NVENC. Why wouldn't you? Let's save those CPU moments. I'd only use CPU if you're streaming from a second computer system. Audio bitrate, the max cap on Twitch is 160. You're not even going to need 160 unless you're doing like music. So 128 is perfectly fine. You have crisp, clean audio coming out of your streaming mouth, you know, so you're good to go with 128. Recording, the first thing I would actually suggest, if you're going to record content, I'd suggest making a folder for your OBS recordings, because they build up fast, let me tell you. I take the risk and record in MP4. That's a-okay with me. This is the one video that I actually can't record in OBS because I'm recording OBS. Anyway, let's get the audio. We've already been here. Sample rate is 48 kilohertz. That's not the same as bitrate, which is the highest OBS goes to. Now we have your audio inputs, and then you can of course do meters, have a decay rate and peak meter system. I just use sample because, once again, higher CPU usage. You can also have hotkeys like push to mute specific. I never use it because I don't really need to push to mute. I just mute the quadcast. Right, video. I have base canvas at 1920 by 1080 and 1920 by 1080. The bicubic sharpening, I just use bicubic. That's probably the best, to be honest. You don't need Lanczos. Bicubic's perfectly fine. And then your FPS values. These are just common FPS values that people use. I just have it on 60. You can also do an integer, so you can literally have whatever actual FPS you want, or fractional. Common is the one for me. Okay, hotkeys. So we've got two scenes. Let's do the hotkeys now, okay? When we go in game, switch to scene. Numpad 2, start. Switch to scene. Numpad 1. That's it. Apply. Okay. And now watch as we change scene. 2, 1. It's easy as that. So if we actually go into mine, right? 1. This is my starting scene. 2, in game. 3, the intermission camera. 4, pause. 5, ending. I never really use this. I always usually just end on this scene. I just have them there in case, I guess. And that's pretty much it. Once you have all that done, okay, you are ready to go streaming your beautiful self. Next week, we're going to talk about overlays. Overlays to make your stream more personalized, more customized. You can throw in your logo, and literally all you have to do is just go into image, create new, and you can browse all your files, okay? Okay, and you can shrink that to whatever size you want. Okay, so say let's copy it and put it into in-game, and you could have your logo in the bottom corner of your game. Just small things like that, just throwing images in, throwing different sources in to make your stream look better. You have all these types of sources that can make your stream look insane. This is all I'm going to be doing for now. This was just a beginner's guide, literally just to show you, to get you up and running on OBS so you can get your stream going. Next week we'll be setting up overlays on this test, and eventually we're going to have fully fledged like mine but with custom overlays, and it'll be nice, and I will leave those custom overlays in my Discord for you to download and use in your streams. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you next week when we do the overlays, and I'll see you in the next one. And we're live from Palm Springs, Booty Juice City. The door's wide open.